It's all right, Bob. It's all right, Bob. Stay by the fire. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You just fell down a pit. You'll be fine. I'm just going to continue to turn this stick into a spear. See, a stick is just a stick, but you make one end pointy. It becomes a spear. So pretty much immediately, by the way, I just didn't hit record, and I talked for like 10 minutes before I noticed the camera went to sleep. So y'all just missed me starting the fire. You missed a lot of gold. And I feel foolish that I apparently hit the button and I think I double hit it because it definitely beeped. So I don't know what happened, but in any case, this is Bob. You can call me Charles for the remainder of the video. As soon as I got done filming my first video of The Edge, I realized there was just stuff I didn't talk about and stuff I wanted to talk about. So I have to do a part 2. And frankly, it kind of occurred to me, you know, it's like I did a video about The Edge many years ago. And part of me before I filmed this last video was like, can I do a video about The Edge when I've already done a video about The Edge? And I went into that video going like, hell yeah, I can. I can talk about The Edge every damn day if I want to. Why not? So here we are with a part 2. And I don't care. Maybe in a week, I'll want to do part 3. Maybe I'll want to talk about The Edge every damn day. And I don't care because I'll do it. The Edge is a great movie. I was actually, I was looking up a couple things before filming this part. And that's the other thing too, is I filmed that. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm going to have to do a part 2. And I said like, oh, it was kind of windy. Oh, it's going to thunderstorm. None of that happened. Like the wind died down. It never stormed. So here I was sitting here. I said, you know what? I'm going to enact my plan. I'm going to actually start the fire and sit out here with Bob and talk some more about The Edge. I actually thought it would be really funny if I just did a campfire video, but then I was just talking about something completely unrelated. Like I'd talk about Maximum Overdrive or something. I don't know. I'm fully in the fire now. Fully in the smoke, I should say. But yeah, I think the things that I specifically wanted to talk about are, one, we'll do that. But what I really wanted to talk about first was some of the iconic dialogue in this movie. I mean, there's obviously, you know, everybody knows Anthony Hopkins going, I'm going to kill the motherfucker. And that's great. But in a movie like this, where there's so many better lines and like smart lines, like the fact that that sort of Chad line is the one everybody remembers is kind of sad. My favorite being when they're sort of hitting home that Charles is book smart. He's read a lot about the wilderness, but he hasn't experienced it. This guide in the cabin pulls down this decorative ore from the wall, and it's got, you know, it's like ornately carved with indigenous symbolism. And the one side has a panther on it. And he says, you know, I'll give you $1 or we'll give you whatever if you can tell me what's on the other side of this ore. And Anthony Hopkins says, it's a rabbit smoking a pipe. Flips it over. Sure enough, it's a rabbit smoking a pipe. And it's, you know, it's a indigenous folktale, and Anthony Hopkins knows all about it. And he says, you know, I forget. I think Alec Baldwin, Bob, says, you know, why is the rabbit smoking a pipe? And he says, because the rabbit is unafraid. And he says, why is the rabbit unafraid? And he says, because he knows he's smarter than the panther. Screwed it up. Because he knows he's smarter than the panther. And it's a really great little bit of business, but in the end, it's really what the movie's all about. It's all about being a step ahead. It's all about being smarter than the thing that's coming for you. And not just trying to be faster than it, not just trying to outrun it, you're outthinking it. And you're not just, and by the end of the movie, you realize that Charles, Anthony Hopkins, was the rabbit all along. And, you know, you could say the bear was the panther. You could say the wilderness, the harsh wilderness was the panther. But obviously, also, it's revealed that Bob is the panther that's coming for the rabbit. And I love that sort of symbolic storytelling. And I also like when a movie sets something up like that. And it's telling you things about your characters, and it's telling you things about where the movie's going to go without hitting you over the head with exposition. It's all sort of metaphor and symbolism, much like Darmok Angelad et Tanagra, you know, in metaphor. My Patrick Stewart often comes out like Sean Connery. There's really nothing I can do about it. There are 4 lights. You give a woman a good smack. That's a famous Sean Connery line. I'm not just saying that out of nowhere. And I don't agree with it. I mean, in extreme cases, you know, bar close. Some people get real annoying out there on the street, and I think they could use a good smack. But that is not gender specific. That's across all genders. Anyway, I love that. I love, obviously, you know, like we said, I'm going to kill the mother. And I love the trailers would always cut it right there. You'd go, I'm going to kill the mother. And then it would be The Edge, which I just found out the original title was Bookworm, which I think is very funny and not inappropriate, but definitely would, I think, sour a lot of people on like how good this movie is. The other thing I learned was not a hit when it came out. It cost $30 million to make, and it only made about $30 to $40 million. So it really, I'm sure it made a ton of money in home video, and I'm sure it's made its money back, you know, and then some over and over and over again. But theatrical runs are super important, and it did not do great, which is really shocking to me. But I also love that scene, that I'm going to kill the mother scene. I love Anthony Hopkins, like, pumping Alec Baldwin up when he's like, say I'm going to kill the bear. Say it again and again. I love that. What one man can do, another can do. Say it again. I love that. And yes, I do frequently at work say to myself, I'm going to kill the bear. What one man can do, another can do. It's a great pep talk. This movie and the Anthony Hopkins character is, there should be like lengthy video essays about how this is the hero we should all aspire to be. Like, this is the man we should all aspire to be. It's just the best. And obviously coming out of a great actor. I also read that Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman were considered for the role before Anthony Hopkins ultimately got it. I think both of those would have been a downgrade. I don't really have anything super against either of them. Obviously, De Niro is really great in very specific things. He maybe would be okay, and nah. You know what? I was trying to give him some grace, because obviously he's done some great performances, but I don't think he has the acting depth of someone like Anthony Hopkins. And there's so many things in this movie that have to be played so subtly. I don't think he's built that way, that he's just not an actor that's constructed like that. So I think they got the perfect person for that role. Another thing I wanted to really point out that is maybe a thing that I can't even say that this is like a strike against the movie. I can't even say that I dislike this, but it's something I noticed. And once you notice it, you can't stop hearing it. And that is how all of the characters say each other's names constantly. I would love to find out, like, if somebody could tally how many times the name Charles and the name Bob get said in this movie. It has got to be 100 times, 200 times. It's like basically every sentence ends with a name. Starts or ends with a name. It's constant. Bob, 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 Charles, Bob, Charles, Bob, Charles, Bob. It is insane how, like, I think about that. Like when my big complaint in Hollywood is how people don't talk like how real people talk in kind of modern screenwriting. And the truth, as great a writing as this movie has, the fact that characters constantly say each other's names takes me out of it so much. Think about how you interact with somebody all day long. And I'm not talking about like getting someone's attention. I'm not talking about calling someone from the other room like, hey, Bob. And then they're like, oh, hey, oh, can you get some ice for this lemonade? Not like that. Not getting someone's attention, just in every sentence you say. It'd be like, hey, Charles, can you get some ice, Charles? Charles, I'm trying to make some lemonade, Charles. It's like that. It's ridiculous. So that drives me crazy, and it's a thing that I wanted to point out, and it's a thing I almost pointed out. Remember in the last video when I was talking about something and then I had a thought and I said, no, I'm going to finish my thought and then I'm going to come back to this thing that I thought of. That was the thing that I thought of. So not only did I not come back to it, I had to do a second video just to come back to my thought. So I think I'm not going to do that anymore. I think if I have a thought, I'm just going to let it derail what I was talking about. Although this did mean I got to have a bonfire tonight and whittle a spear and talk to you guys more about The Edge. So that's cool. I actually wrote down a couple things just to make sure. Charles and Bob say each other's names constantly. Great quotes to live by. $30 million budget, which, by the way, that'd be about $60 million nowadays. So not like the cheapest of movies. I also did some research today about why movies cost what they cost nowadays. And I am going to do a video about that sometime because I think it's something interesting to talk about. Like, not that there's really anything we can do about it, but Panther and the Rabbit. Yeah, so that's, I guess that's where I'm at. That's really probably, I don't need to drag this out. Those are just things that I wanted to remember to point out that I missed the first time around. And I think I am honestly going to come up with some kind of format, like actually write down kind of a format for the way I review movies. Sort of like, here's my initial thoughts, like my initial, maybe my personal history with a movie or my nostalgia for it. Like that little sort of my personal connection to it. And then maybe some kind of quick recap, favorite moments, like, figure out some sort of format just so it's not a 100% ramble. The fire's looking kind of cool. I kind of want to point the camera down at the fire so you guys can see it for the last little bit, because it's also getting kind of dark, huh? Here, I'm just going to do this. So you guys look at that. That's actually really pretty for the last few minutes of the video. So yeah, I definitely want a little bit more of a structure for these things, because and I guess if nothing else, just to actually maybe write down my bullet points, because I went into the last video about the Edge specifically wanting to talk about the quotes, specifically wanting to talk about the panther and the rabbit, and because for me that is such a big piece of the puzzle for the storytelling in this movie, and I think the storytelling is really fantastic. And the fact that just I completely forgot to talk about, like I had a half hour to talk about it and I completely forgot. So that is my brain on full display. So I definitely want to do a little better. And you know, we've talked about it. That's what really this new unedited format is all about. It's about figuring out how do I self-edit my brain in the moment, and it's also figuring out those you know, where I'm weak and trying to be better and trying to grow. I think that's an important thing to sort of see about yourself, that, you know, it's not just about, you know, there's so many, when you look at tips, you know, years ago when I was really trying to make YouTube a success and like be successful on YouTube, so many things were saying, you know, you just do the same exact thing every day. The most important thing is consistency. And not that I followed that. I very much didn't, because I'm so I'm such a squirrel, kind of looking at shiny things and getting bored of one thing and getting excited about something else. But I guess that's what they call, I don't know, ADHD or anxiety or overthinking. I don't know what it is, but you know, I look at a lot of that stuff and it's like, well, if you just did the same exact thing every single day, are you, like, I guess you would maybe get more efficient at doing that one thing, but would you really be building any muscles? Would you really be getting better? Would you be getting stronger where you're weak? So a big part of this is figuring out where I'm weak and working on it. So yeah, and I'm excited about it. I think it's been enjoyable. I hope, you know, this is sort of that weird growing pains part. So I hope people aren't bored with it. I hope sort of just fully, you know, letting the real me be on display. You know, I think it's an interesting thing. You see it with, there's so many YouTubers who, and I think I've talked about it before, but just YouTubers who seemed so kind and so friendly, and when they, oh my God, there's a gopher poking its head out of its gopher mound, like 15 feet away from me. I can't. Unfortunately, he's looking at me. He sees me. Unfortunately, I don't think this camera lens is pretty wide. I don't think you'd be able to see him if I turn the camera, but I will, the mosquitoes are actually really biting me. But I will finish this thought. But just that YouTubers who, when moving to like streaming, moving to an unfiltered, unedited, long format or long format medium, were sort of they're who they really are was revealed, and who they really are was pretty horrifying to a lot of people. So I think, you know, because we live in, you know, the world of podcasting and everything is really moving towards that sort of long format, unrehearsed, unscripted, conversational style. I think it's really important for someone like me to figure out how to be myself on camera. And like I've said, I still want to do scripted stuff. I still love making like if an idea strikes me, like I love writing, you know, a comedy script. I love playing characters. I love the editing process and all that stuff. It's so satisfying when it comes together. But it is obviously a lot of work, and it is obviously ultimately like a performance. And you know, you're trying to figure out how to not perform, you know, or you know, I guess I'm trying to figure out how to like be myself while I entertain you. I guess that's probably the best way to say it. So yeah, I think that is going to be it for today. Because now I got to put this dang fire out. Look at that, beautiful. All this for a video. I tells you, if you didn't, you know, believe my commitment, hopefully you do now. There we go. Perfect. So, in any case, thank you folks for watching, as always. And if you made it this far and haven't subscribed, for the love of Bart the Bear, please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all next time. Good night, everybody.